My beloved soul, listen carefully. If God can make flowers bloom through concrete, then hear this with trembling faith: He will find your soulmate, even if your heart feels buried beneath years of disappointment, even if your hope has been crushed under the weight of waiting, even if every door you knocked on seemed sealed by silence. My beloved soul, this is not poetry, this is prophecy. Flowers do not ask permission from concrete, they rise because life was planted within them by the Creator. And the same God who commands life to break through stone is the same God who is orchestrating love to break through impossibility for you. Before we go any further, do this as an act of obedience and expectation. Type, "I receive this," in the comments, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the bell, and send a super thanks as a prophetic act of faith. Do not do it casually, do it believing that heaven is watching your response. You were led here on purpose. This is not a coincidence. God has not forgotten you. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not for everyone, it is for you. You have cried in private. You have smiled in public while silently wondering if love would ever find your address. You have watched others celebrate engagements, weddings, anniversaries, while your own prayers felt suspended in the air. But hear this, my beloved soul: if God can push petals through pavement, He can push your promise through delay. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, something sacred is unfolding even now. The enemy tried to convince you that your singleness was rejection, but heaven calls it preparation. The silence you experienced was not abandonment, it was alignment. Scripture says in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 that He makes everything beautiful in its time. Not in your time. Not in their time. In His time. And His time is never late. Concrete looks final, but it is not eternal. Your loneliness looked permanent, but it was seasonal. Just as rain softens the ground, God has been softening circumstances you cannot see. There are conversations happening about you in places you have never been. There are hearts being shaped that have never met yours. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. The reason your past relationships failed is because they were not designed to survive your destiny. They could not handle where God is taking you. You thought you lost them, but in truth, God rescued you. Listen carefully, because this next truth will pierce your heart. Your soulmate is not just someone you will love, they are someone assigned to walk beside your purpose. And purpose cannot be rushed. Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Not you. Not chance. Not luck. The Lord Himself. If you remain till the end, the final word will change everything. You have been asking God, when? God has been asking you, will you trust me? Waiting is not punishment, it is construction. Beneath the surface of your life, foundations are being poured. Your character has been refined. Your discernment has grown sharper. You no longer fall for words without actions. You no longer confuse attention for intention. You have matured. And that maturity is proof that you are closer than you think. My beloved soul, the flower does not see the sun when it is still beneath the concrete, yet it grows anyway. You may not see evidence of your promise, but growth is happening in darkness. Romans 8 verse 28 declares that all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. Even the heartbreak. Even the nights you questioned your worth. Even the relationships that ended without closure. All things. God wastes nothing. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you. There were moments you almost settled. Moments you told yourself maybe this is all I deserve. But heaven intervened. Heaven disrupted. Heaven allowed it to fall apart because it was not aligned. And though you wept, you were being protected. Hear this, protection does not always feel like blessing, sometimes it feels like loss. But if God can make flowers bloom through concrete, He can bring covenant through chaos. Your soulmate is not delayed because you are unworthy. They are delayed because God is precise. Divine alignment requires exact timing. Two lives must be prepared simultaneously. Two stories must be healed independently before they merge. And right now, somewhere, the person God has chosen for you is also being shaped. They too have cried. They too have waited. They too have asked God, when? This is not random. This is orchestration. My beloved soul, do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. The tears you shed were seeds. Psalm 126 verse 5 says those who sow in tears will reap in joy. You thought you were just surviving heartbreak, but you were planting joy. And harvest season does not announce itself with noise, it arrives suddenly. One day the concrete looks unchanged, and the next day a bloom appears. One day you feel alone, and the next day you meet the person who feels like peace. Yes, peace. Because your soulmate will not bring confusion. They will not make you question your value. Love designed by God feels like rest, not anxiety. It feels like confirmation, not chaos. You have experienced counterfeits, and that is why the real thing will feel different. Familiar yet new. Gentle yet powerful. Listen carefully, the enemy wanted you to interpret delay as denial. But delay is divine strategy. If certain relationships had worked out, you would have been distracted from growth. You would have compromised your standards. You would have shrunk yourself to fit someone who was not assigned to your destiny. But you did not shrink. You survived. You grew. You healed. And now, you are becoming ready. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. Stay anchored in this message, because what comes next is sacred. The same God who paints lilies in fields and feeds birds in the sky sees your longing. Matthew 6 verse 8 says your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. That includes companionship. That includes partnership. That includes love. Your desire for a soulmate is not weakness, it is design. God said in Genesis 2 verse 18, "It is not good for man to be alone." He understands connection. He created it. So why would He deny you what He Himself declared good? My beloved soul, if God can make flowers bloom through concrete, He will find your soulmate, not through striving, not through chasing, but through surrender. Continue to heal. Continue to pray. Continue to trust. Because suddenly, at the appointed time, what felt impossible will break through. And when it does, you will look back at this waiting season and understand why it had to unfold exactly as it did. You will see that every no was guiding you to a greater yes. Every closed door was redirecting you toward destiny. And when you finally stand beside the one God prepared, you will whisper, "It was worth the wait." Hear this final declaration: what you prayed for is nearer than you think. The soil has been prepared. The seed has been planted. The concrete is cracking even now. Peace is coming. Love is coming. Divine fulfillment is coming. And just as surely as flowers bloom through concrete, your promise will bloom through impossibility. Rest in that. Believe in that. Expect that. And even now, in realms you cannot see, Heaven is arranging what your eyes have longed to witness. My beloved soul, there is movement in the spirit that you have not yet perceived in the natural. Just as roots grow deeper before a flower breaks the surface, your promise has been developing in silence. You mistook the silence for absence, but it was actually divine construction. Listen carefully, because this part is sacred. God does his most detailed work underground. Before Joseph wore the coat of honor, he wore chains. Before David wore the crown, he wore obscurity. Before Ruth met Boaz, she gleaned in fields with humility. The waiting season is never wasted when God is the architect. Do not scroll past this moment in your spirit. Something is aligning for you even as you breathe. My beloved soul, do not drift away now, the Spirit is speaking directly to your situation. There were nights you questioned whether you were too late, too different, too much, or not enough. But heaven never questioned your worth. Heaven never debated your value. You were chosen before you were formed. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope." That future includes companionship designed by God, not fabricated by fear. You see, fear tries to rush what faith is willing to wait for. And you chose faith, even when your hands trembled. Even when your friends told you to lower your standards. Even when loneliness whispered that compromise would be easier. You held the line. And heaven took note. Heaven is watching. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose. Somewhere, your soulmate is also being refined. God is removing pride from them. God is healing wounds they never spoke about. God is teaching them how to love without control, how to communicate without ego, how to commit without fear. Two preparations are happening at once. You cannot see theirs, and they cannot see yours, but God sees both. And when the time is precise, not a second early and not a second late, your paths will cross in a way that feels effortless yet ordained. My beloved soul, stay with me till the end. There is a revelation you must not miss. You have been asking God for a sign. But what if this message is the sign? What if this stirring in your chest is confirmation? What if the very ache you feel is proof that something holy is near? Concrete does not crack randomly. Pressure builds first. And in the same way, the pressure you have endured has been building toward breakthrough. James 1 verse 4 says, "Let patience have its perfect work, that you may be complete, lacking nothing." You are not lacking. You are becoming complete. And completeness attracts covenant. The love coming toward you will not require you to shrink your calling. It will not ask you to dim your light. It will celebrate the fire inside you. Because it was chosen by the same God who ignited that fire. My beloved soul, do not skip ahead in your heart, remain present, because heaven is still unveiling truth. The enemy tried to make you bitter. Tried to make you cynical. Tried to make you close your heart permanently. But you did not let pain turn into poison. You healed. You forgave. You released. And forgiveness unlocked doors that bitterness would have sealed. That is why your blessing is still on schedule. If you had allowed resentment to root itself deeply, you would have delayed what God is about to deliver. But you chose surrender. And surrender always accelerates destiny. Listen carefully, because this next truth will anchor you. Divine love is not found by frantic searching, it is discovered by divine positioning. Ruth did not chase Boaz across cities. She positioned herself in obedience, and favor found her in the field. Your obedience has been positioning you. Every prayer whispered in exhaustion positioned you. Every tear that fell in worship positioned you. Every time you said, God, I trust you, even when I do not understand, you were positioning yourself for divine encounter. My beloved soul, remain with me, do not close this message prematurely, the Spirit is still writing on your heart. There will be a moment, and it will feel ordinary at first. A conversation. A meeting. A connection that does not scream chaos but whispers peace. And you will sense something different. Not butterflies of anxiety, but a calm assurance. Not fear of losing them, but security in their presence. That is how you will know. Because 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33 says God is not the author of confusion but of peace. The one He sends will bring clarity. The one He sends will honor your boundaries. The one He sends will pray with you, not just for you. They will recognize the hand of God on your life because they carry it too. And when you stand together, it will not feel like two incomplete halves, but two whole souls aligned under heaven's design. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final declaration will seal this word in your spirit. Do not underestimate the power of divine timing. Lazarus was dead 4 days before Jesus arrived. To human logic, it was over. But Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" Your situation may look delayed beyond reason, but God specializes in timing that magnifies His glory. When your love story unfolds, no one will be able to deny that God authored it. It will carry fingerprints of providence. The details will align too perfectly to be coincidence. You will remember this season and realize it was not emptiness, it was incubation. And suddenly, like a flower splitting concrete, your life will shift. My beloved soul, feel this deeply, what you cried over will make sense. What you lost will reveal its purpose. What you endured will become testimony. Heaven is not teasing you. Heaven is preparing you. And preparation always precedes promise. Do not grow weary now. Galatians 6 verse 9 says, "Do not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up." Notice it says proper time. Not rush time. Not pressured time. Proper time. You are closer than you think. The cracking has already begun. The soil above you is thinning. Light is penetrating what once felt sealed. My beloved soul, hear this final surge of truth: if God can make flowers bloom through concrete, then nothing in your story is too hard for Him. Not your past. Not your fears. Not your timeline. He will find your soulmate. He will orchestrate the meeting. He will align the hearts. He will confirm it in your spirit. And when it happens, it will not feel forced, it will feel fulfilled. So lift your head. Guard your heart without closing it. Continue becoming who God designed you to be. Because the love you prayed for is not lost in the wind. It is being escorted by divine hands. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose. And I declare over you now, the concrete is cracking, the bloom is rising, and the love ordained for you is nearer than your doubt. Receive that peace. Stand in that faith. Expect that breakthrough. What you asked God for is on its way, and it will arrive right on time. And as you breathe in this very moment, something invisible yet undeniable is shifting in your favor. My beloved soul, there are seasons where nothing appears to move, and then there are moments when heaven accelerates everything at once. You are standing at the edge of acceleration. The waiting that felt endless is about to reveal its meaning. The silence that echoed in your heart is about to be answered with divine clarity. Listen carefully, because what I am about to say is not emotional exaggeration, it is spiritual revelation. God does not allow prolonged preparation without imminent manifestation. When the roots are deep enough, the bloom must emerge. When the foundation is strong enough, the structure must rise. And when your heart has been purified through surrender, covenant must follow. My beloved soul, do not rush past this truth, sit with it, breathe it in, let it settle into your bones. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Heaven is watching, and God has been more attentive to your tears than you realize. Psalm 56 verse 8 says He collects your tears in a bottle. Think about that. Every tear you thought fell unnoticed was documented in heaven. Every prayer whispered into your pillow was recorded in eternity. Do you truly believe a God who treasures your tears would ignore your longing for companionship? No, my beloved soul, He is too intentional for that. He is too faithful for that. And if you stay with me now, you will feel the weight of this next revelation. There were certain doors that closed not because you were unworthy, but because the timing was immature. Immature timing creates unnecessary damage. God will not introduce you to your forever while you are still healing from your yesterday. He loves you too much to let you sabotage what you prayed for. So He slowed it down. He allowed you to feel the discomfort of waiting so you could develop the discernment to recognize the real thing when it arrives. My beloved soul, do not disconnect now, because heaven is intensifying this word specifically for you. The next relationship you step into will not resemble the chaos of the past. It will feel steady. It will feel intentional. It will feel covered in prayer. And you may even hesitate at first, because you have grown accustomed to emotional turbulence. But peace will be your confirmation. Isaiah 26 verse 3 says you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. The love coming into your life will align with that. Peace. It will not compete with your calling. It will not confuse your spirit. It will complement your purpose. And you will sense it in the quiet moments. My beloved soul, remain attentive, because this part is delicate. The enemy attempted to rewrite your narrative. He whispered that you were too late, that your best years were behind you, that others were chosen while you were sidelined. But heaven never removed you from the plan. Delay is not dismissal. Waiting is not rejection. Sometimes God hides His most precious treasures until the environment is secure enough to sustain them. Flowers bloom when the temperature is right. And your promise will bloom when the spiritual climate is aligned. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says to everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. You are entering a new season. The atmosphere is changing. What once felt stagnant will begin to move. What once felt blocked will begin to open. My beloved soul, do not scroll away in your spirit, lean in closer, because something powerful is forming. The person God has prepared for you is not random. They are not accidental. They are not a backup plan. They are intentional. They are crafted with details that will fit your journey in ways you cannot yet imagine. They will understand the battles you fought in silence. They will respect the boundaries you built through pain. They will admire the faith that carried you through storms. And when you share your testimony, they will not shrink from it, they will honor it. Because they too have their own testimony. Two healed stories are stronger than two wounded ones trying to survive each other. My beloved soul, if you remain until the end of this message, a final wave of assurance will anchor your heart in unshakable confidence. Right now, you may not see the cracks in the concrete. But cracks do not announce themselves loudly at first. They begin subtly. Quiet shifts. Small changes. Unexpected opportunities. Conversations that feel guided. Pay attention. Because divine alignment often feels natural rather than dramatic. When God moves, He does not always shout, sometimes He whispers. And those who have been refined in waiting can recognize the whisper. You have been refined. Your spirit is more sensitive now. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. You are wiser. You are calmer. You are more anchored in identity. And that identity will not be compromised for companionship. My beloved soul, feel this deeply, your soulmate will not complete you, they will confirm you. They will confirm the work God already did within you. They will confirm that your standards were not unrealistic. They will confirm that your patience was not foolish. They will confirm that your faith was not in vain. And when confirmation meets preparation, covenant is born. This is why heaven allowed you to stand alone longer than you expected. Because God was building a love that would not collapse under pressure. A love that could withstand trials. A love that would reflect Christ. Ephesians 3 verse 20 says, "Now to Him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think." The love story God is crafting for you will exceed what you imagined. Not in superficial ways, but in spiritual depth. It will surprise you with its steadiness. It will overwhelm you with its safety. It will anchor you with its authenticity. My beloved soul, do not let impatience steal what patience has preserved. The final stretch of waiting is often the most challenging because the breakthrough is closest. Just as labor intensifies before birth, pressure increases before promise manifests. If you have felt heightened emotion lately, heightened longing, heightened sensitivity, it may be because the season is shifting. The soil is loosening. The bloom is pressing upward. And soon, very soon, what felt buried will become visible. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. This message found you because it was meant to find you. And I declare over your life with prophetic boldness, the love ordained for you is not wandering aimlessly. It is being guided with precision. It is being guarded with intention. It is being aligned with accuracy. Continue trusting. Continue preparing. Continue believing. Because just as surely as flowers break through concrete without human permission, your soulmate will break through impossibility by divine command. And when it happens, you will not question it. You will recognize it. You will feel the peace of God settle over your spirit like morning light. And you will know, beyond doubt, that every season of waiting was worth enduring. Stand firm in that expectation. Rest in that assurance. The bloom is closer than it appears. And when that moment arrives, my beloved soul, it will not thunder with confusion, it will settle over you like sacred sunrise. You will not have to chase it, you will not have to convince it, you will not have to manipulate it. It will stand before you with clarity, with intention, with reverence. And something inside you will whisper, "This is different. This is covered. This is God." Listen carefully, because this is the final unveiling. The concrete did not break because the flower was aggressive. It broke because the life within it was unstoppable. The love God planted for you carries that same unstoppable grace. It has survived delay. It has survived distance. It has survived timing you did not understand. And now it is pressing toward manifestation. My beloved soul, this is your confirmation that you are not waiting in vain. You are waiting in alignment. There is a difference. Alignment creates longevity. Rushed emotion creates regret. But what heaven authors, heaven sustains. The one coming into your life will not merely admire you, they will honor you. They will not merely desire you, they will protect you. They will not merely promise, they will follow through. Because God is not preparing a temporary attachment for you. He is preparing covenant. And covenant is sacred. Do not leave this final moment lightly, receive it deeply. The prayers you thought were delayed are being answered in precision. The nights you almost gave up were the very nights heaven strengthened your resolve. The times you felt invisible were the times God was shaping your character beyond surface attraction. You are not stepping into shallow love. You are stepping into intentional partnership. And when it unfolds, it will feel like destiny meeting obedience. My beloved soul, hold this final declaration close to your heart. If God can make flowers bloom through concrete, then there is nothing in your history, nothing in your age, nothing in your past heartbreak, nothing in your present waiting that can prevent him from finding your soulmate and aligning your paths. Nothing is too hard for the Lord. Nothing is too delayed for his clock. Nothing is too buried for his power. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. This was not random. You were led here on purpose. And I declare over you now, the cracking has begun, the alignment is active, the meeting is nearer than your fear, and the love ordained for your life is rising toward you even now. Rest in that peace. Walk in that faith. Expect divine fulfillment. What you have prayed for is closer than you think, and when it arrives, it will carry the unmistakable signature of God. Type Amen.